This is Big Leagues Country Roads Rankings. Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo indeed, Brian Skoronsky. Welcome inside the Country Roads Rankings, the top 10 small school football programs, brought to you by Knox Community Hospital, right there. Knox Community Hospital, thank you for sponsoring these top 10 rankings of the top 10 small school Division 5, 6, and 7 teams in North Central Ohio. I am Travis KMAC Trav Berardi, and before we get into our top 10, let's get the receiving votes category per se. 4 teams that I think are just on the outside looking in, and if there's another week like last week, we had 4 of the bottom 5 teams drop out due to losses, so they're on the outside looking in. If they can get a win this coming week, maybe they will crack these illustrious, as Storm Blunchy would say, top 10 rankings. Buckeye Central, 3-1. They had a tough loss last week, the first one of the season. They dropped right out, but they're still good enough that they are just on the outside looking in. A St. Paul team that was in my preseason top 10 dropped their first 2, but they're on the way back. They're 2-2 now at 500, looking to improve this week. Plymouth, 3 straight after dropping their first game of the season. They are at 3-1. And Mount Gilead, one of my feel-good turnaround teams of this season, despite losing a couple key players. They're right there, 3-1, and we will tell you why tomorrow. That's what we call a plug, my friends, a tease. In the Stats Leaders brought to you by Spitzer of Mansfield. Hayden and I will have those tomorrow, but we'll show you some players why the reason Mount Gilead is 3-1, just outside my top 10. But without further ado, let's get to the top 10. At number 10, it is the Mapleton Mounties. Okay, they did lose this week, but they lost to number 3 Lucas in the rankings. It was one of those top 10 rankings versus rankings matchups. So Mapleton just down to number 10. But if they slip up one more time, they're going to drop out because one of these other teams I just mentioned will probably get right into their spot, maybe higher. At number 9, Seneca East, 3-1. They're ripping off some wins after that tough loss to Willard. Will Willard be in the top 10? We'll see here in a little bit. But they have a big one. They host Colonel Crawford this week in a big matchup at the top of the Northern 10 standings. At number 8, welcome Centerburg. After losing their first game of the year, Tim Tebow 2.0, Tyler Johnson and company have won 3 straight. As you see these highlights from their game this past Friday against East Knox. Love the jerseys. Those camo jerseys are awesome. Kalen Lemaster, Tyler Johnson really leading this Centerburg squad back up the rankings, not only in the Country Roads rankings, but one of the favorites now in the KMAC, sitting at 3-1, but undefeated in the Knox Morrow Athletic Conference. Sitting at number 7, another team looking to get to the top of the Knox Morrow Athletic Conference, and that is Danville, 3-1. Another ranked versus ranked matchup in my Country Roads rankings. They'll take on Northmor Friday night, live and free. Andy Jardy and myself will be at the castle for this one. Should be a great matchup to see who will be one of the front runners in the KMAC at the midway point. At number 6, there they are, Willard. The Flashes, 3-1. They went from 10-6 after 4 teams, like I said, ahead of them lost. They have a very good win against Seneca East, who sits at number 9. They also defeated South Central. They go to Lakota, so they have a chance again to get win number 4 and get even closer to a playoff appearance. They're at number 6. Now to number 5, those Golden Knights of Northmor. Despite losing Max Lauer before the game last week against Cardington, they were able to get a good running attack thanks to Caleb Chenier and company, get some big defensive stops to win 27-13. And in this week's interview, I talked to head coach Scott Armrose after that win about what the squad had to offer, after losing some key pieces last year, and what they have to offer now that Max Lauer might be out of the lineup for the next couple of weeks. But let's get to that interview.
It's good to be here with KMAC Trav.
It's good to be here with you. I talked to you before the game today. I said, it's a beautiful day for football. You said, absolutely beautiful day for a win. you guys got it out. That was a battle back and forth between you two. I mean, you can even look at Caleb's face. It was a battle in the trenches, and you guys were able to make a couple more plays. Just, I guess, how proud are you of this complete effort by your squad?
Yeah, that's what I told the guys after the game. I couldn't be more proud, and I was, standing there, and I was going to mention guys that stepped up big. The list is too long. You can't replace a guy like Max with one player. It takes several players, and to learn that we're not going to have him on a Thursday is not an easy thing for our kids to do to get ready. The good news is we get those guys reps, we work with them, and I told them, and guys like Caleb Chenier that want to be on the field, want to be contributing, want to be playing, or playing behind guys like Max Lauer. It's not easy to find the field, and they get a little frustrated. You tell those kids, keep at it, keep working, get your opportunity, show what you can do, and that's exactly what Caleb did. And I couldn't be more proud of Caleb Chenier and his effort tonight.
You guys are known for your turnovers. You had 26 turnovers caused last season. You graduate half of your defense, and already you have, I think, 9 or 10 takeaways. And that was big in this one tonight because, Cardington, they were battling back. They had big run after big run, but you guys bend but not break.
Yeah, and our guys do things right. We do things fundamentally correct, and that's what we want to be big on. We want to do things the right way. And when a linebacker takes a drop and sits in his zone and he's patient, Coach Tagg always said, get back there, get your drop, and sit there, and you'll be surprised that quarterback's going to throw the right ball to you. And he's exactly right. That's what our linebackers did. They do good drops. We do a good job getting to the football. You cause fumbles by getting lots of guys to the football, and our guys run to the ball even when they're cramping up and they're bloody and they're hurting and they fight. They got no quit in them. I'm really proud of these boys.
Even before the loss of Max Lauer, you graduated a lot of players from last year, but you have a lot returning that got some quality time. How important was that for these kids that now are getting the quality time and are contributing to win after win for you guys?
Yeah, these are the guys that, this is a group of kids that won the KMAC last year as a JV team, and there's a lot of really good athletes there, and a lot of guys have gotten their reps in and gotten their experience in at the JV level, and that's what we do. We'll program people, we work our guys up through, and we get them the reps and get them ready to go. We coach them up, and they do a great job responding to coaching. We had to make some adjustments at halftime, and that's not easy to do for a young team. And you get a little bit worried about, are we doing too much? And they picked it up great. They did a great job executing it.
Danville handled Fredericktown tonight. You guys face them next week, another one of those. It seems like it's a tournament already once you get into the KMAC schedule, because if you want to win that championship, you're gonna probably have to go undefeated in this schedule. But you got one win down, move on to the next round. What are you expecting from a veteran Danville squad? What will you need to do to battle with them here on this turf and possibly come out with a win?
This is going to be a physical football game. Danville's very physical. You see them on film, and they do things very well too. And it's going to be another battle, and it's going to be a physical one because they're going to do a lot of hitting.
So our WBCO, WQEL crew, one of the first times seeing you guys. I know some of the main names, but maybe some of those guys inside the trenches that you want to give a shout out for tonight that really helped contribute to this win.
Yeah, well, Dylan Britt, we lost early, had to play both ways, and hurt himself a little bit. We lost him, and then we're in trouble. A.J. Benarth, who hasn't played a whole lot of defense this year, has to move in and play almost all night at defensive tackle, and then he comes in and plays tight end, and he plays himself until he's cramped up in both legs. He can't play anymore. Ryan Lowry, defensive lineman, starting defensive lineman for us, a sophomore, had to play on the offensive line this week because we lost our starting tackle, and he played both ways tonight, all night long as a sophomore, and did a great job. Paul Kramer, my goodness, that kid is something else, man. I tell you, he played his butt off tonight. We know what Paul can do defensively, and we had an idea what he could do offensively, but he carried the load there in the first half and moved the chains for us, and it was nice getting him and Caleb back there together with the 1-2 punch. That's really good. Charles Naylor did his thing all night like he does every night. Vance Johnson, a sophomore, who's been a great JV player for us this year, gets some varsity experience and gets in there on that D-line for us tonight. I'm sure Vance wasn't expected to be in a football game in meaningful time tonight, and he was, and he did a great job and held his own. I tell you, I could go on and on and on about these guys. So many guys had to step up tonight. So many guys had to step up tonight and contribute,
absolutely.
And they did. I'm proud
absolutely. So one of the few undefeated teams in my Country Roads rankings stay undefeated. We'll see how Crawford does. I think Crestview won, Cary as well. But what? Give me your plea to be in the top 3 in these Country Roads rankings. You have a chance right now to try to get with the committee right here.
Those football teams that are above us are really good quality football teams, and to put us in the category with those guys, to even compare us to those teams, is quite a compliment to us. So there's nothing that I can say to tell you that we're better than those football teams.
love to speak of Coach Scott Armrose, especially at the end. Nothing but respect for the teams that are right ahead of him. But like I said, Northmor, Danville, heavyweight battle coming up on Friday. Andy Jardy and myself will have the call live and free right here on the OH Report Facebook and Channel 4 YouTube channels. But let's get back to the rankings. At number 4, the Colonel Crawford Eagles, one of those undefeated teams that I was talking about. They travel to number 9, Seneca East. It's going to be a big one. We'll have that one for you, possibly. We'll have more information about that in the upcoming days, but maybe we'll have that game for you live and free. Just got to work some things out. At number 3, the Lucas Cubs. Yes, they're going to stay at number 3 after the big win against, at the time, number 6, I believe, Mapleton, 6 or 7. Big win for them. Completely dominated the game. That RPO just, Mapleton unable to handle it. Lucas will host Mogador. 3-0. They defeated 4 teams, but one of them a club team, so the OHSA doesn't really count that as a victory in the playoff rankings. But nonetheless, Mogador with those 3 wins, number 4 in Division 6 Region 21. Lucas, number 4 in Division 7, their region as well. So another huge matchup, and that you can see also live and free on the OH Report Friday night. Now to the top 2, and it's been unchanged because both teams won. But anyway, number 2, Crestview, 4-0. They handled business against Western Reserve despite a couple injuries, had a couple players out, were able to gut out the 24-12 victory over the Rough Riders. They go to Monroeville, and a funny story, Coach Haverdill hasn't won a game at Monroeville. Now, 2 years ago, they did not play because of COVID, so the players on the field that will take the field for Crestview on Friday night have never won a varsity game at Monroeville. They look to change that around and go 5-0 on Friday night. And the number 1 team, they just keep winning. I say this every week. This is now 19 in a row for those Cary Blue Devils. 4-0 on the season. They will host Buckeye Central, who wants to get back into these rankings, but they have the monumental test of knocking off the defending Division 6 state champions and ending their winning streak. Can they make it 20 in a row? We'll find out on Friday night. But there you have it. The top 10 rankings in Divisions 5, 6, and 7. 3-1. You got to be at least 3-1 to get in here, and even then, some of them are sitting on the outside looking in. So we'll see a lot of ranked matchups this week. So we're going to a lot more shuffling for next week's episode, but I can't wait to get there. The Country Roads Rankings brought to you by Knox Community Hospital. Thank you for sponsoring this segment each and every week. But I'm going to hit those country roads. I'll see you next week.